Why did I become a Renaissance periodization diet coach? I've been doing it now since 2017. This sounds like a total propaganda piece, advertisement. Maybe, I don't know. But I really, honestly, in my true heart, just want to relay why I became a coach. And I think it'll help maybe understand and help those that are trying to wade through the quagmire that is nutrition science. And some of the things I say may surprise you, or maybe they won't. I don't know. This video isn't meant as an advertisement for my coaching services. If you're looking for a coach, I'm happy to help you, but it's, again, more about the philosophy. So Dr. Miller or Jason Miller, PhD, remember, I can't save anybody unless it's using a barbell indirectly. So I'll stick with the Jason Miller, PhD. But why I became an RP diet coach? Well, first of all, for years, for many, many years, a galaxy far away, through my studies and as a strength coach and weightlifting coach and just studying nutrition and, so on and so forth, my doctoral studies, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You develop, if you read enough and you learn enough and you talk to enough people that are smarter than you, you start to develop a picture, right, of how things work. And I say that not definitively, like this is not how things work, period, but you get an idea. And for years and years there, I had been, had the opportunity to, tag along on some diet scheme, and I say scheme there, selecting my words carefully, I meant scheme, or strategies. And I just kind of held away. Yeah, I don't think so. And RP came along actually through one of my weightlifters years ago. I just mentioned it in passing and mentioned the group of people who it was. And I was familiar with the university that a lot of these individuals went with, a very reputable school. And of course, the people in RP, come to find out, they're a lot smarter than me. And so that would just seem like, yeah, I like to be around people who are a lot smarter than me, and because that'll make me smarter. And that doesn't mean their knowledge is perfect or I agree with everything they say, but man, they're going to push my knowledge. And certainly, Dr. Isertel, Dr. Hoffman, right? I'm going to stop naming some of the big names in RP because there's others in my head right now. I'm just going to stop because they're all fantastic and I don't want to leave anybody out like they haven't contributed. And so again, I'm not appealing to authority here, but I am saying if there's a group of professionals that are saying the same thing and looking at the literature that they've produced, and I'm not even going to say what it is, so I'm not trying to plug it. I'm just saying the literature they produced and the sources they produce and being on the cutting edge of the information that's out there in diet and fitness in certain areas more than others perhaps, but certainly for the general population, to the bodybuilding population, to the powerlifting population, weightlifting, this is really good information, and even endurance now with Dr. Harrison stuff. So it's a good organization. Okay, it's not perfect, but at least there's people thinking about these things that have credentials, which doesn't mean a whole lot. In my opinion, I've met some coaches that don't have credentials that are fantastic, but it's certainly helpful. How's that? But as I started to look at the RP program, I started to look at the structure of it. And it's the same things that I've been preaching to athletes and people over the years already. It's just RP did a wonderful job of organizing. At the time, there was no app, but they put it in templates. And it was everything I had wanted to do and just never had the time to do and really didn't have the innovation, I guess, at the time to do. And RP did it. Nick did it, and Dr. Zattel built a fantastic program. And at the heart of it, and this is where I really got excited about it, is it was built on the research literature, and it was built on primarily real food. Now, there's incorporation of protein powders, etc., but it's built on real food. How to eat real food. So when I work with clients, that's the biggest thing I'm trying to impress upon them, because many times as part of this video I wanted to get across is that you look at meal timing or you look at who's using it. It's like, well, I'm not an elite CrossFit athlete, or I'm not an elite power lifter or weightlifter or whatever, or a fitness competitor or whatever. It doesn't seem to fit me, but majority of my clients, I've worked with, I don't know how many, over 600 clients now over the last few years, and a very small fraction of them, I'm going to guess at 5% were athletes. Okay. Now there's other coaches that work with more athletes and more physique competitors. I work with anybody and anybody. And I get mostly people like me, people, probably like you that are, they're not competing, and certainly I have those people too. But then again, the percentage is much lower. It's most people just trying to lose weight, trying to get fit, trying to figure out how to use their home gym, all these different important things that RP structure, I think, really does a good job of helping with. And in diet-wise, it gives a structure of, again, how to eat real food. It uses food lists that helps you to eat healthy food, but gives you that variety in food choices. It gives you macros, which can be used in a variety of ways. The best way is probably use a smart food scale, but you use the macros to set, and don't worry about the calories so much. You can track, certainly, but you use the macros to help build the idea of portion size. And in a portion size, the proportion of things like protein versus fat versus carbs. And in so doing, also separating out those macros, at least initially. Doesn't mean you can't mix them. But if you look at a lot of food, it's all mixed together, right? It's just fat with carbs. But a lot of the food in nature is not that way. Most of the things are separated. Now you can mix them together and make a fantastic salad, or, some concoction that is, whatever. It's very healthy and delicious and wonderful with some sort of sauce and blah, 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 right? But the point is you learn portion size and proportion size. And those are skills that even if you stop doing meal prepping and all that more strict type of eating, those are skills that are carried forward. And that's something I impress upon clients, and that's something I want to impress upon you, is like the RP method. I'm not even trying to hype the RP method. I'm saying that it just does a good job at the heart of it of learning how to eat better. You learn how to eat real food with variety, and you learn how portion and proportion sizes work. And in so doing, you start to eat healthier. Even mastering that alone is going to make a significant difference. The incorporation of veggies then, how much vegetables you should eat, how many servings per day that you can reasonably get in, and start to explore how to eat vegetables, because they carry not only the ability of making you feel full along with protein, which is a big part of that proportion issue, eating more protein with more veggies, but you get a lot of micronutrients, so you're a healthier person as a result of that as well. And in the meal timing things where a lot of people get hung up. So it's like, well, if I can't eat my meal exactly at 12 o'clock, that's something as an RP diet coach that I've done the most modifying. I have people, not very many, but I have a few that this worked out best, is I just give them daily goals. That's it. Don't worry about the meal timing. Or we do we do breakfast and a dinner with a lot of flexibility in the other meals, flexible snacks or flexible meals. Some people don't like to eat right before they go to bed. So, on this scale, you'll see some other videos I've put up, this idea of optimal and practical. There's optimal. If you're an elite athlete, you want to be optimal. You have the time to be optimal. You don't have 4 kids that are clamoring for your attention, perhaps, that, and you have all day to meal prep, and you have, people always bring that, hey, I don't look like so-and-so athlete. Well, so-and-so athlete, that's their profession. Your profession may be stay-at-home mom. Your profession may be lawyer and stay-at-home mom. Your profession may be lawyer and businessman. Your profession may be businessman. Your profession may be in the medical field. That's been some of the more challenging ones. I'm just cherry-picking a few of those, but you get the idea. As many people you see that are athletes, that's their profession. So you can't compare yourself to a professional athlete, where meal timing could be hit because that's the profession. If I said, I want you to be a doctor, but you don't see any patients, and just let all your knowledge about medicine just lapse, well, you wouldn't be much of a doctor after a while. And the same with professional athletes. So nutrition is a big part of what they do. But for everybody else that have busy days and that's not their profession, you have to learn flexibility. And so that was another reason why I enjoy being an RP diet coach, and I've really enjoyed it for years now. Is it's learning how to eat healthy food with variety, like what food are healthy, okay, quote unquote healthy, and will help you then manage hunger better. And then the portion size, proportion size, and then of course, like I just said, then the flexibility of, yes, this is what an optimal program can look like, but understanding that may not happen. It's not an all or none thing. Okay, even the protein powders, I've had a lot of people that haven't used those or used plant-based powders over the years because of some sort of GI issue. Casein is, 15%, 20% of people have an issue with it for whatever reason. And so, and I say for whatever reason, there's different ways that's manifested. We've dropped it, okay? The heart of it, though, is learning how to eat well. It's learning how to eat properly and building habits that you may not be strict your whole life, and I wouldn't expect somebody to be. Meal prepping all the time, but creating awareness of how to eat. And that's the real strength of the RP diet. And that's the real strength of a diet, right? Of a diet. An example of that would be like the Mediterranean diet. It's a way of eating. It's a food selection guide. Right? And there's a lot of social interactions around that as well that are important, but it's a diet, and not in a diet in the sense of I'm dieting, but it's a diet for long term. It's a way of eating for the long term. And I think RP does a wonderful job. The RP diet does a wonderful job of setting people up for that if done properly. And so if you're doing the RP app or the RP diet and you're finding your mindset though is more, I got to be either all in or all out on this thing, or this is just a short time so I can look super cool on my vacation, I would encourage you to reconfigure your mindset though, to say, well, what skills am I learning though about, even if I'm cutting right now, knowing that calories will come back, am I understanding though proportions of my portions? Am I understanding what a reasonable portion size is? Even if you're cutting, you're like, well, I'm going to get a little bit more, but really this is what a portion size. And then healthy food. If what is a healthy food, and can I prepare it in such a way that's delicious? The answer is, of course, yes. And can I do it in an efficient time? Yes. Can I do it in a financially efficient way or financially feasible way? Yes, you can, right? And there isn't necessarily food lists specifically for that. I maybe make some videos on that. I might go to the grocery store and walk around and look at some, honestly, and this is a valuable skill too, is learning how to shop in the grocery store and find things, or meal prepping, or even if you're on the road a lot, learning how to eat at a restaurant, or learning how to eat and not eat ridiculously. Like, please take off all the oil, and nobody wants to eat like that or order like that. Okay, very few people. So learning how to eat though, and with the kind of an upswing in health, of course, there's more options now that are healthy as well. So anyway, I decided to put this little ramble out about the RP diet, why I enjoy being a coach, or, I didn't give that as much perhaps, but why I think the RP diet is more than just, it's not a gimmick, it's not a fad diet. And as a coach, my goal is to make it a long-term diet change. And you don't have to be all in on everything. That's where a coach can help, or that's where even your own, if you need to I'm not trying to advertise my coaching again. I'm just saying, if you can step back and say, well, what's the core out of this diet program, and what things maybe can I forego right now, knowing that meal timing is optimal, but I don't have that right now. I can only do 2 meals a day. Well, okay, or 2 meals with a flexible meal sometime during the day. It's a little smaller. Fine, that's better than nothing. That's better than what you were doing before, more than likely, and it'll keep you out of that cycle of moving from one diet to the next. Diet here being more of could be a dieting approach, from keto to paleo to RP to South Beach to whatever's next. Understanding that maybe perfection isn't going to happen, and that's okay. Being okay with that. All right, enough rambling. I hope this was helpful. I don't know. Maybe this was just a waste of time for you, but I hope not. I hope it provided a little bit why I do like the RP method, why I'm an RP coach, but even more so for the purpose of this video of understanding the crux of the RP method, which really is just learning how to eat better for the long term, and not necessarily eating as an athlete per se, right? But eating, and you don't have to use it as an athlete. You don't have to be an athlete to utilize this approach, not just the RP approach, but just eating, good food. Even if you do 3 meals, or you do 2 meals out of your 3 you eat per day better than you did before, using some of these important constructs like healthier food, okay, and proportion and portions. That's going to go a long way for your health and for potentially weight management, weight loss. All right, I'll quit rambling. I'll see y'all in the next video. Check out my library of videos and rambles, and maybe even some educational stuff, and journal clubs and book reviews, all that good stuff. Channel's growing and adding content. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Like this video, and I'll see you in the next one.